I've been giving you winning PrizePicks entry after winning PrizePicks entry. We're on a hot streak, and we're going to ride this streak all the way into UFC Vegas 91. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry for UFC Vegas 91. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You just come in here. You say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and if you're right, you can 20 times your money. You can 100 times your money. You could hop on a promo. You could even get some wrong and win. They will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $20, they'll give you $20. If you give them $100, they will give you $100 instantly that you can use to build an entry. You don't even need to use your real money. You can just use the free money they gave you, win, and then withdraw. No weird rollovers, no weird conditions. They give you the free money. You can use it instantly, and that money is yours as soon as you play with it. WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. I'm going to focus on UFC Vegas 91 because that's what we do here. But you'll see across the top, there's all sorts of weirdo sports that you can go more or less on. Darts, if you know your way around a dartboard, there might be some money to be made. I have no idea. So we're going to focus on UFC. You are going to see that it's called MMA. And that's because they do have more than just UFC lines. They will give you Contender Series lines when those are out. They will give you PFL lines when those are out. Right now, it's UFC season, baby. So we're going to go ahead and break down UFC Vegas 91. I'll tell you right off the rip, I don't love any of these significant strike lines. The only one that I do like is the more on Janata Deniz. And that's because Janata Deniz has cruised past this number in the past. I'm surprised this is so low. Yeah, he's a heavyweight. He hits hard, all those things. But he moves. He throws with volume. He doesn't just sit and wait and then throw one big punch and he's good. He will put up numbers. He will significant strike his way to first round, late first round, second round finishes. I think he gets past this number. Every single strike he throws is a significant strike. We're not going to see some little pitter-patter jabs that don't count. Everything he does counts, and he will land 17 strikes along the way. He got past this number in his last fight. His opponent was just knocked out in the first round, and they basically got past that number in that fight as well. So I think we're good here. I don't like any of these other lines. You might get trapped with a 28.5 on Ivana Petrovic, and you might say, oh, women. That fight's going to go long. No, don't touch that fight. Liang is going to come out, wrestle her ass off, and then get finished. I don't know if Ivana is going to land 28 strikes. It might be straight up grappling and then a quick finish at the end of the first round, second round, something like that. So we're going to leave that alone. The rest of these I don't love, so we are not going to touch them. If we move over to fight time minutes, this is another one that's a little bit tricky. If we scroll our way down, Ivana Petrovic with Liang, my gut is telling me go less than 9 minutes. That's my gut. And if you look at Liang Na or Na Liang's fights, that's a pretty good bet. But we're going to leave it alone. It's going to be very unpredictable. Neither one of them have won a fight in the UFC just yet. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm not touching a UFC debut, especially not at 10 fight minutes. 10 is one of the hardest numbers. Once you get higher, it's like it's going to a decision or it's not. 10 is like there still can be a finish. Like 10's a little bit tricky. So we'll leave all of these alone. And if we move over to fantasy score, I don't really like fantasy score. I'm probably not going to do any of these either because the reality is fantasy score is a little tricky. Typically, if you're on the right side of a win, you're good. But a lot of these are juiced. A lot of these are factoring in a finish. A lot of these are factoring in high scoring fights. Uros Medic. Yeah, he should beat Tim Means, and if he does, he'll finish him. So if you think he wins and you're confident, the more should be good there. But Tim Means is durable. He is tough. And maybe somehow we get a full 15-minute fight. Uros Medic is just landing a good amount of significant strikes, wins off damage, and he doesn't get anywhere near that number. Karine Silva, the more on her is the only fantasy one that I would consider because 100% of her 17 wins are by finish. She has 17 wins. All of them are by finish. She's fighting Ariane Lipski, somebody who has been finished in the past. She should be able to get this to the ground. And then once it's on the ground, she has shown us time and time again what she can do down there. So if you want to hit the more on the 83.5 fantasy points for Karine Silva, that actually makes sense. That's the only fantasy line that I like here. Takedowns, I like 2 of these. We're going to go fewer or less. And it should be fewer. It should be fewer. When it's a number like that, 1.5 of these, fewer. Less is not as much. Less is volume, right? You have a glass, 16 ounces. What, like less is volume, time. 1.5 takedowns, that's fewer. Okay, so whoever is working at PrizePicks and doesn't have their nomenclature correct, take a lesson from me. It is fewer. Anyway, we're going fewer than 1.5 takedowns on Michal Figlak. The reality is he is a very good wrestler. He can wrestle, but he uses it defensively. For him to get 2 takedowns would be very surprising in this fight. He's going to be the much better striker. I think he's going to keep this fight standing, and I think he's going to light up Austin and get it done. So I like Michal Figlak with fewer than 1.5 takedowns here. And I like Karine Silva with more. I think she gets the takedown. You will not be able to do the Karine Silva fantasy points and the takedown. So if you are positive she wins, then go with the fantasy point side. That's probably a little safer because the reality is she does have a couple of wins where she has finished her opponent but not officially gotten a takedown. I do think she's going to get a takedown. I think she's going to get a takedown no matter what, win or lose. She's going to get past this, get past the half, so just one single takedown, and I think she cruises. I'm just doing this 3-fight entry. This is a trickier card than others. The straight-up picks on this card, I'm not worried about. The fantasy lines that they've given us here for PrizePicks are a little tricky. Jonathan Pierce, for example, I would have liked a lower number. 2.5, I probably would have done the more. 1.5, I would have put my life savings on it. 3, we need 4 takedowns. I'm not going to touch that. We're going to leave this at 3. So we have Jonata Deniz, more than 16.5 significant strikes. Michal Figlak, less than 1.5 takedowns. And Karine Silva, more than 0.5 takedown. I already have this entry built. You're looking at it here. And I like to do the safe play. I like to 2.5 times my money instead of chasing the bigger payout because this is MMA and anything can happen. Guys, this is my entry. If you love it, great. I've been on a hot streak. If you don't, that's fine too. Build your own. But the most important thing is get your free money to build your own. Go to WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Use promo code WWP. Take your free money, build an entry, and leave with even more free money.